Hello, today's video is brought to you by Audible.com. You can go to audibletrial.com/theamazingatheist for a free audiobook and a 30-day trial membership. Let's say you want to learn a little bit about evolution. Let's say you like arguing with creationists like I do. You could get Richard Dawkins's The Greatest Show on Earth, The Evidence for Evolution, which is 14 hours and 35 minutes unabridged. Normally it's $31.93, but you could get it for free or any other audiobook for free with this trial membership, and you support the Amazing Atheist channel in the process, so it's a win-win-win-win-win. Oh yeah.
So let's talk about the whole sex object thing. Women say, oh, men, they treat us like sex objects. An object is something material that can be perceived by the senses. So we're all objects. Every human being on this planet is an object. Are we sex objects? In my opinion, yes. We're sex objects because we're living things, we're life forms. And the driving force behind any life form is to reproduce. And how do we reproduce? Sexual reproduction. We have to fuck. I mean, we don't have to. We have the technology now to do artificial insemination and stuff. But our main biological imperative is reproduce, and the way we do that is we have a sex drive. It compels us to have sex so that we will impregnate each other or get impregnated or whatever, and we'll produce offspring. So actually, sex object is not a bad way to describe any human being, male or female, in my opinion. What is the difference between being sexually attracted to a woman and sexually objectifying a woman? What's the difference between being aroused by a specific body part, like, let's say, a big jiggly ass? What's the difference between being aroused by that and objectifying that? I've been interacting with feminists online for years, and I still don't quite understand where the line is, what the distinction is. I mean, here's the thing that always bothers me. If you stare at that woman's ass, you're objectifying her. No, it's actually the fact that she's not an object, at least not in the sense that you're talking about, that is arousing to me. Like, I don't want to fuck, like, lawnmowers and fucking tabletops and shit, you know? That doesn't sexually arouse me. Things that are commonly thought of as objects are of no sexual interest to me whatsoever. It's the fact that it's a human ass attached to another human being that is appealing. You understand what I'm saying here? And even when men do fuck objects like sex dolls and fleshlights, we make it approximate something on a human being that we actually want to fuck. A fleshlight is basically an empty flashlight with a fake pussy on the front. That's how desperate men are. Look, it's like a fake pussy and you can fuck it. So really, men are way more guilty of womanifying objects than they are objectifying women. I think a lot of the feminist objections come from this idea that women's bodies are used as a commodity. Like, look at this advertising with these sexy women. Look at all these sexy women on the TV show. Look at all the sexy women in the video game. Look at all the sexy women in the comic book. And they're all scantily clad. And it's like, oh, they're just there for eye candy and stuff. And, you know, I agree. It does seem like women are more sexualized than men. But what about my opposite end of the spectrum complaint? That fat, hairy guys are not sexualized enough. I wish there were more social cues like, yeah, eat this hamburger because this fat, hairy dude likes it, and he's the new sexy. Yeah, you know you want this, YouTube. You know you want this shit. I just read an article online today about a woman who likes when men catcall her. And, of course, for daring to come out with that opinion, the feminist hordes all called her an idiot. They said she was uneducated. They said that she doesn't know what she's talking about. They called her sad and pathetic. Every insulting thing they could say just because her personal feelings contradicted their narrative. I mean, do you think she's alone in that? Do you think that she's the only woman who ever dressed sexy because she actually wanted sexual attention? I mean, come on! Why are we trying to erase that segment of the population and say all women have a problem with this? They don't. I mean, it's unfortunate that the ones who do have to deal with it, and I don't know what the solution is, But I'm just saying, let's not erase people who have a contradictory opinion. Let's not try to make other people's personal feelings fit into our worldview when they so clearly do not. And really, the idea that all women are on the same page or should be on the same page, or that all men are on the same page or should be on the same page, that's part of the problem. Because that's why you get these things like the commodification of female bodies, or the idea that men are just these disposable fucks who you can throw into the meat grinder of war. I mean, it's because you just look at people as monolithic representations of their group. And that's not how you should look at people. You should look at people as individuals, each with their own unique opinions and values and personal feelings and pet peeves and hang-ups and so on and so forth. There is no such thing as men and women other than just on a biological level. There are so many individual traits that go in to what makes a person who they are. It has nothing, or at least very little, to do with their sex or their sexual orientation or their race or anything like that. That's all the superficial nonsense that we should have long ago realized doesn't really mean anything. I think that we all rely too heavily on stereotypes in guiding our way of thinking because we have this bad habit of needing to find patterns everywhere. And there are some places where that pattern recognition stuff comes in handy, but when it comes to appraising the worth of our fellow human beings on an individual level, our pattern-seeking behavior is backfiring on us badly. And that's ironic because it does let some men view women as commodities. It does let some men objectify women. But there's a reverse phenomena where the feminists who act like every man who is sexually attracted to any part of a woman's body or is sexually attracted to women is objectifying women, they are actually objectifying men by interpreting their actions so simplistically. So really, all of this objectification, it really stems from the fact that people don't really want to get to know each other. They want to think in stereotypes. They want to think super simplistically. They want to build up these monoliths that don't actually exist. They want to act like everyone who is this way must also be this way, and this way, and that's just not the fucking case. I'm the Amazing Atheist. Peace the fuck out.